Hello everybody and welcome down to another YouTube video today. We are looking at an Apex Heirlooms tier list because I thought, why not? Why don't we do one of the tier list videos? Because those seem to do good on YouTube and I've always wanted to do one. So we're going to do something about the heirloom because I just recently got my first heirloom. So I'll be ranking them all from S to F as you can see, and hopefully it'll be a fun video. Yeah. So let's get into it. Heirloom that would go on the list would have to be Bloodhounds right here. I would say Bloodhounds is a solid A tier heirloom in my opinion, for the reason that it's just simple, it's clean, it's got a lot of lore behind it, which I think is really cool. Like, I like when they put in lore with the different heirlooms. That's really fun to see the characters evolve with their different things and their stories. But their heirloom really ties in with them, and it's also just simple and clean for them. Like, it's just an axe and it does spins in your hand, and like it's got a nice chopping effect and like a sound when you hit players, so I'd say it's just a solid A. Now we're moving on to Rake's Kunai. I'd say it's a bit overrated and I'd give it a B tier. Like, it's a solid heirloom, but it's the heirloom that everybody wants because everyone's a Wraith main, even though Wraith is kind of getting worse as the seasons go on. I would recommend, if you are a Wraith main out there, maybe try a different legend before she gets nerfed into the ground too much, because everybody loved to play her in Season 0, and then she blew up, and then she got really bad, and then everyone kept playing her. So, it's a solid heirloom, it's simple, knife, does the spins, but doesn't have a ton of storyline behind it. Like, she got it from the other Wraith in the IMC lab in her storyline, and that's pretty much it. So, it's a good heirloom, but I'd say only a B tier. Now we're on to Lifelines shock sticks. I'd say these are a solid, solid A tier. They've definitely got some backstory to them, not a ton though. It's a cool concept in my opinion. They do the little drum beat thing when you slide. I like them a lot. Wouldn't buy them particularly, but I like them and they're respected in my opinion. So the Mirage Heirloom. I would say the Mirage Heirloom, it's definitely interesting. It really fits his character, because obviously it's like a trophy of himself, and Mirage is all about himself. But Mirage also has a darker backstory to him, and I feel like this really ties into it, because this is supposedly a gift from his mother, as like, she's his #1 fan. So, I'd give it a solid B just because of the story. If I was rating it off of looks and usage, it would be in D tier, but because of the story behind it and because I respect Mirage's story, I'm going to put it in B. Pathfinders boxing gloves. These ones are cool because they're the only heirloom that are actually like on the fist of Pathfinder. Or on the fist of any character, actually. So, I think these are going to be an A above Lifeline shock sticks, but below Bloodhound's axe. Now we've got Octane's butterfly knife. I think Octane's butterfly knife is cool. It like there's no story behind it for him. It's just because he's fast and a butterfly knife is dangerous and fast like to use and stuff. But it's a cool heirloom. I'll give it a C. I'd give it a C. I wouldn't pick it up, wouldn't use it, but like it's okay. The Gibby heirloom. Okay, the Bangalore heirloom. Let's see. Cold steel. No, but the Gibby heirloom in my opinion, Gibby is very good in ranked. I would not use him in pubs or anything other than that. Other than ranked. His heirloom is just too thick. Like, it looks heavy, it feels heavy in game, I've heard players say. That's why I'm going to have to put it F. But now on to Bangalore's Cold Steel. Say it's got a real cool name in my opinion, and it looks cool, and gotta say it sounds cool in game, but not one of my favorites. Not super creative. It's the pilot's knife that she took from a pilot that came to destroy the village her brother was living in. It's C tier. C tier below the Octane butterfly knife. Okay, so we have Revenant Scythe. I like the Scythe aspect, and for that reason, it bumps up to top of C tier. I wouldn't buy it, wouldn't strive to get it or anything, but if I had to use it, I would because it's cool and the draw animation is nice. There's no story behind it, sadly, so that's why it's top of C tier. It doesn't make B tier, sadly. The Caustic Hammer is okay, but just like Gibby's Heirloom, it is really thick, it feels heavy in game, and I personally wouldn't like it. I know there are Caustic mains out there who use it, but like, I don't know a Caustic main. Do you know a Caustic main? He's kind of not the character to play, but you know what? I'll give it D tier, because why not? Rampart's Heirloom is a wrench, a really big wrench. It's I'd give it top of D tier, honestly. There's not a ton of story behind it. It's cool. It really fits her character. That's why it's going top of D tier. Bottom of C tier, since it fits her character so well. So yeah, we're going to put it there in bottom of C. We got Watson's Heirloom. Watson's Heirloom is interesting, I have to say. It's not really got a defined structure or anything, and it's kind of weird. There were concepts floating around on Twitter and stuff for her heirloom to be a fencing sword. Like a sword, and then the blade of it was one of her electrical fences, which I loved the idea of. Thought they should have gone with that one. They didn't, and they went with the cashier scanner, but you know what? You can't get them all. But I'd say it fits her character very well, so it's going bottom of B tier, I would say. Crypto's sword is our first S tier, no matter what. It's got the coolest draw animation. It's got so much backstory to his character. It interacts with drones and the recon beacons. It's also part of Korean culture, which matches him and his nationality. It's all round, I would say, one of the best heirlooms, in my opinion. Obviously, my opinion, not your guys's. You guys can choose anything else. Because obviously you might think Caustic's Heirloom is the best if you're a Caustic main, or Revenant's is, or Wraith's is, or Watson's is. But I would say Crypto's here is the best. I would say the Bloodhound... Okay. The Bloodhound Prestige skin is interesting. I am not a super fan of Prestige skins as heirloom items, but they're cool. And you get a finisher, yeah, okay. So these are kind of in their own. So wherever I put this, it does not match up with these, I would say. Because these, I don't consider these heirlooms. They're prestige skins. I'd go with top of B tier for Bloodhound. So out of the heirlooms, to make this clear, out of the heirlooms, Wraiths is top of B tier, and out of the heirloom skins, Bloodhounds is top of B tier. So they're both top of B tier, even though it doesn't show it. Okay. Valkyrie's Heirloom. Now I'm just going to say, it does go below Crypto's, but is still another one of an S tier. I may be biased because I am a Valkyrie main, but it is one of the sickest heirlooms, and the draw animations are amazing, fits her character, got stuff about her backstory, and her nationality. It is amazing, in my opinion. And then the Bangalore Prestige skin. Huh. E tier.